Alrighty, well, everyone, welcome back to the Dump and Chase podcast. I'm not Dump.
And I'm not Chase.
Ooh, good. He knows his lines. I just slapped my mic. I'm so sorry. We're back. So this is like the longest consecutive streak of episodes we've had in like a long time.
Yeah. 2.
But hey, go team. You know what? We're doing all right. So we're good to be back. I would say so. Anything else you would have to add to the intro? Aside from that, it's been just a bit since we did the last one. It wasn't too long, but long enough that we had some really exciting national hockey happen.
Yes, 4 nations happened, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. So,
you guys will probably know most of what happened.
If you don't, you're probably under a rock or really don't care about hockey, then why are you listening to this?
Yes. I mean, don't go away.
Yeah, please don't go away, but like, not sure why you're listening. You want to go ahead and start us off with our news?
Sure.
Let's get after
first thing, we have a goalie goal to report.
A goalie goal.
First of all, before we talk about the goalie goal,
yes,
I feel like I've seen more goalie goals in the last 3 years than I have my entire life before that.
Seriously. Like, prior to the last few years, the only ones I can remember are, like, Mike Smith.
Yeah, I remember
on the
Smith's
Coyotes.
On the Coyotes, yeah.
Wasn't there a Sabres goalie who did it?
Not that I remember.
I can't remember. But the only one that sticks out in my memory is Mike Smith.
I feel like I remember a Brodeur one near the end of his career.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I remember that one too.
But I'm not positive.
I feel like there was a Brodeur one. Yeah.
Well, he had multiple, but...
Well, yes.
But in the last
that
years,
I remember.
We talked about Neil Djokovic last episode.
Yeah. The 3-goal scorer in multiple leagues.
Rene has had one.
Yes.
Has Saros had one too? Did Saros have one recently?
I feel like he did.
Maybe. If he didn't, he was close on one. There have been a few recently, and I'm forgetting all of them at the moment.
Goalie Goals, NHL, 2024, let's say. Googling it. Gustafsson.
Oh, yes, Philip Gustafsson. I think it was the beginning of this year.
That very well could be. I'm going to look at a list of them here. It's not like a proper list. Oh, no, there is. There we go. So... starting in
give me teams.
Here we go.
Give me teams. See if I remember the.
Well,
goals.
I'm going to go back a little bit further back here. So
okay.
This is turning into a goalie goal episode. So we were talking about that Mike Smith one in 2013. It was in 2013-14.
That was on the Coyotes.
October 19th, 2013. Not that anyone really cares. Anyway, on the Coyotes. Prior to that was Brodeur the season before.
Okay, so there was one.
There was a Brodeur one.
Okay.
His third.
Yeah, I remember Cam Ward was in like 06 or something like that. I thought he had one.
2011, same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. So then after Mike Smith was a big jump from 2013 all the way to 2020.
2020.
Well, this will give it away if I tell you the team.
I don't know how to do this then. Maybe
it was the Pecorine goal.
Oh, it was the Rene goal? Okay, so I got it already.
You did. Okay, so here's one you haven't got. I can't give you the teams. It's going to give it away.
Give me... you won't know their backup goalie at the time. Never mind.
That would also give it away for this next one.
Okay.
A rather fan favorite goaltending tandem. Duo. Tandem? Duo? Tandem. Because tandem's 2 axles. Anyway. 2022, it was in the year 2023, February 25th, against the Vancouver Canucks. And the...
Give me the division. Central Pacific Atlantic Metro.
Okay, this is really embarrassing. I think it's Atlantic. Anyway.
You think. It's not Ottawa. It's not Toronto. It's not Buffalo. Unless you were right. No, it's not Buffalo. It's not Buffalo. It's not Detroit. Are you right?
It is the Atlantic.
It is the Atlantic? Okay,
yeah.
I've got Detroit. I've got Toronto. I've got Ottawa. It's none of them. I've got Buffalo. It's not them. My ring. It's gone. What other teams are there in the Atlantic Division? What the heck? I can only think of Metro teams right now. The Canadians. It's not the Canadians.
Your time's winding down.
Yeah,
exactly. Anyway.
Bruins.
The pulled goaltender was Arturs Silovs, however you say his name, from the Canucks.
Silovs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you say it. He was the pulled goalie.
He was the pulled goalie. Okay, but that doesn't help me.
That doesn't help you at all.
Useless information.
Yep.
Oh man, I've got Boston. Tampa. It's not Vasilevsky never scored.
No, I'm cutting you off. It was the Bruins. Ullmark.
He did score. You're right.
Well, yeah, because I have the list in front of me.
Yeah.
Me panicking, not sure whether the
shame on you.
The Bruins are even in Atlanta. Of course they are. Yeah, that was a little embarrassing that I even had to guess that. The next one was, in fact, in the same year, the next season. So the 23-24 season, last season.
Yeah.
The pulled goalie was Vasilevsky. Not that you care.
Nope.
Who was it who scored that goalie goal?
Give me a division again. Don't say Atlantic.
1 minute. It's not Atlantic. No, it's sorry. The Metro.
Metro.
I did not have to Google that, just so you know.
Capitals. No, it's not the Capitals. Capitals, Rangers. It's not the Rangers because that would be Shesterkin, and I know Shesterkin didn't because of what we're about to talk about.
This goalie is struggling for a current NHL job.
Struggling. Oh, it's Tristan Jarry. Jarry. I remember that. Tristan Jarry. Just got called up today, actually.
Okay.
After a stint in the AHL, played 12 games and was so incredibly mid with a 903 save percentage in the AHL.
I wasn't keeping track of that.
I just saw it 2 hours ago.
Oh. Anyway, I'm going to rip through these next two. Then this season, at the beginning of the season, Gustafsson on the Wild. Then Nedo Djokovic with the Penguins. And now the newest addition to the list is...
Ilya Sorokin. And of that list, the only one, he never actually shot this puck. All the previous ones mentioned, I believe, shot the puck.
Yes.
Maybe Brodeur might have been the last one. I think
Brodeur did not shoot the puck. No. I remember that one. It was off the board.
Yeah. And this is the same thing. Sorokin was the last one to touch the puck, and then the Predators shot it into their own net. Steven Stamkos. Only goal he scored in the last month and a half.
Good job, Stammer.
He has sucked.
Yeah.
But Sorokin and Shesterkin are very good friends, and Sorokin was quoted saying that he scored before Shesterkin did. And so that's why I knew Shesterkin was not the Rangers.
Love that. I love that. Unfortunately, it did not give me fantasy points.
I hate that.
I was sad about that.
I had Jarry last year when he scored. I had Gustafsson this year when he scored. And I had Ullmark a few years ago when he scored. I didn't get points for any of them. And I had freaking Rene in 2020.
You're the commissioner. Change it.
It's not an option.
I know.
I've tried.
It's so dumb.
So sad. I feel like you should get at least 10 fantasy points.
Yeah, it should be a lot.
Yeah. Or even 20. Heck.
Yeah.
It happens maybe once a season.
Or 3 times, apparently, this year.
Or 3 times a season. Anyway, goalie goals. They're always fun. Moving on. What do we have next?
Ovi. We talked about Ovi and the record last episode.
I feel like Ovechkin's going to be a topic every episode until he gets the record.
Which, I think he's only 12 away.
He's very close.
By the time we do another episode, he might be there.
Yeah, John Cooper was quoted saying in an interview, I think someone asked him about Ovi or if they were worried about him, and he was like, well, if he breaks the record tonight, then we've got another problem, because he's still 11 goals away.
I literally just opened my Instagram, and it says, if he breaks the record tonight, then we did something wrong.
Yes.
Is what John Cooper said.
Yep.
But yeah, Ovi is the first player ever, though, to score 200 goals in 3 different decades.
Now that is impressive.
That's first ever.
So Gretzky did not do that.
2000s, 2010s, and 2020s.
Yeah. And also, to further prove this point that Ovi is the best goal scorer of all time.
Yes.
Gretzky, when he was 38 years old, I was going to ask you to guess, but you can probably have already seen it on our notes.
Mm-hmm.
He scored 9 goals in 70 games. Gretzky did.
Yikes.
Ovechkin is 39 years old.
So was that his last season?
Yes.
Okay, it was.
Yeah. Ovechkin is 39 years old, so 1 year older.
Yeah.
He has played 42 games, so almost half the amount of games Gretzky did, and has 30 goals.
I was going to say, he probably has 30 goals,
yeah. He has 30 goals this season, whereas
Gretzky had 9 in almost twice as many games at 1 year younger.
Yeah. I wonder how many goals Ovechkin would have this year if he didn't have the goal of trying to break the record.
Yeah, that's true.
If he'd cleared the record a long time ago, I wonder how many goals he would have this season. Probably a fraction of what he currently has.
Yes, if he's running off. It will be interesting to see, assuming he breaks it this year, which he should. How does he do next year if he doesn't just retire?
Yeah, that's true.
How
he gets it in the last game and then retires.
That like before the end of the season. Doesn't even play the playoffs. Just gets it in the last game.
He gets it in the last game, early on in the game, and then in a mid-game interview, he retires. I'm sure you can bet on that somewhere.
Yep, I don't know if I'd put money on that, though.
No, I wouldn't.
I feel like you'd bet on that.
In favor of him not retiring and somehow lose your money.
Yeah.
Even though it would be right.
Yeah, exactly. So, all that to say, pure goal scorer.
Yeah.
We never claimed that Gretzky was a pure goal scorer, but that's a lot. That's a big gap.
It does make you think, though, that shows how many goals Gretzky scored when he was younger.
Yes.
If Gretzky was washed that much in his older years as the best player ever, that means that his prime was...
Though probably era adjusted, I don't know if he would have been that much of a more goal scorer than Ovechkin.
That's true.
Era adjusted.
True. Yeah.
Probably works out about the same.
Yeah.
I still would say Ovi is the best.
He's still the best goal scorer, I would say. Yeah. We can agree on that. And with that, we're moving on to our favorite topic at the Dump and Chase podcast, the topic of player discipline.
Yes.
Now, I know you love talking about this.
I really do.
So I'm going to start it off.
Okay.
You weren't expecting that. So we talked about this last episode. Ryan Hartman was appealing, and him and his camp were appealing the suspension. Reduced to 8 games instead of 10. Do you think this was the right move by the league?
Yes and no. I mean...
Because of I know your opinion from last episode. Yeah. Do you think that...
to reduce it?
Yes.
That was the right call.
Reducing it by any more than 2 games makes it look like, oops, we made the wrong call.
That's fair. From
that perspective, I would agree.
Yeah.
More than 2. So...
Once you're already at 10, I feel like you can't reduce it to more than 8.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or less than 8, rather.
Yeah. Bettman did say that he felt like 10 was too harsh for a don't do this again. Or like for a slap on the wrist type of, or a sending a message type of suspension. Yeah. He said 10 was too much. My opinion, I still think 8 is too much.
Yeah.
But that
what did I say in the last episode? I thought 5 was right?
I think you said 5 and I said 2 or 3.
That's right. That's what we said.
I probably said 3. Yeah.
Someone correct us in the comments if we just contradicted ourselves.
Yep.
But yeah, I think
you're right. That 2 is reducing it by 2 games is probably the right call for that reason. Otherwise,
because otherwise you look like idiots that we don't know how to make a proper suspension call, and they fold to pressure of someone saying I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So, I think it's all right.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Next one. Go ahead.
I think they might look like idiots of this situation instead.
Possibly. Go ahead.
Matt Rempe.
Yes.
Certified pugilist. What are your opinions about Matt Rempe? I'm very curious what you think about him.
He is a certified pugilist. Now, I think I'm using that term right.
I don't even know the word, so...
Okay, well...
Educate me.
Basically, a goon. A certified... no, that's not the right term. Not dirty player, but dirty player. Not afraid to hit somebody and hit them dirty.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to look up the term pugilist.
Okay, I'll talk while you do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so Matt Rempe was quoted saying just like...
just kidding. That means a boxer. He does like to fight.
Yes, he does, but that does not fit this situation.
No, I guess I've heard the term used in the context of hockey, but in terms of just a pure fighter. So basically a boxer, a pugilist.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
He was quoted a few weeks ago saying that he needs to be a lot more careful about the situations
that he gets himself
into.
I heard about this.
Because he's like, I'm going to get myself in a lot of trouble, and I'm not going to have an NHL career anymore if I don't start being smarter.
Yeah.
Fast forward to now. We're filming on March 3rd. This happened on March 2nd.
Yep.
He runs a Predators player, I think Blankenberg,
from
behind, elbows high, chicken wing style, and just whack right under the chin.
Pops him from behind.
Yeah. Right under the chin. Now, Noah.
Yes.
If you're a referee, what would you call that penalty? If, say, Michael Backlund did that, what would that penalty be?
Well, I don't care who does that. That's a major penalty.
Now, what about if Matt Rempe does it? What do you call?
Execution.
Wrong. 2-minute minor for elbowing.
Ah, yes.
Yes. That is what our glorious referees
called that penalty. Good for them. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
How on earth do you make that mistake? Point number 2. There is not a hearing for it as of this point. Maybe that will change. This is only a day later. There is still not a hearing. So the NHL has suspended Ryan Hartman for 8 games.
Yeah.
For being dumb and to say stop being dumb, and Matt Rembe can elbow people in the face, and 0 discipline.
Just a 2
Go team.
Yeah. So I feel like we need to fix player discipline. So I have an idea.
Oh, this could be good.
Yes. So
this could go one of 2 ways. Not sure.
Which ways do you think it's gonna go?
Well, this is either gonna be I can think of 3. Let's get the fans involved.
Yeah.
They're like legitimate, like, let's put in higher expectations and get people who are qualified to do their job. Or, you know what? Just get rid of player discipline altogether and just let everyone do whatever they want because they're not doing anything useful anyway.
Option 2 is the correct answer. Not what I was thinking. So, if the audience can recall watching the Mighty Ducks,
We're talking about the movies.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Not the team. The movie. Let's take somebody like Matt Rempe, strap him to the net, and take shots at him.
Literal player discipline. Discipline by the players.
Yeah, and it would be guys like, back when Chara was around, just get Chara to have a line of 10 pucks and rapid fire them.
Yeah, at that point, you don't really care
let
how
him
much...
cover his face. Fine, we can put a cage over his face. We're not going to kill him.
Yeah.
However...
You know what? I bet you he keeps his elbows down.
I bet you he does. The fear from anyone standing in front of a Zdeno Chara slap shot with not actual goalie pads, even with goalie pads, it's terrifying, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Not that I can speak from experience, but
I don't know.
Just
My
regular
shot's
player
pretty
pads. Let's just say regular player pads and a full cage, and of course neck protector because we don't want to kill him, but we want to send a message.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great solution.
I agree.
That came to my head while you were talking about it. So
you are a genius.
Thank you.
Player discipline. Discipline by the players.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, next topic.
Okay, one more suspension. Trevor Zegras. Not exactly who you'd think, like, hey, getting suspended all the time.
Not a certified dirty player.
What was the term?
Pugilist.
He's
But
not a pugilist.
That's a fighter, though.
Still not that.
Yeah, no, he's not that either.
He got suspended 3 games. I'm just rewatching it now.
Basically doing the exact same thing Rempe did, but open ice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, open ice on Michael Rasmussen on the Red Wings.
Okay.
Just skated by the classic, it's like what McDavid did a few years ago against an Islanders player.
That was against a Canadiens player.
Okay. It just skated by, and then just as he skates in front of him, just like, poof,
just full on swings his elbow.
Pops the elbow up. Like,
yeah.
It's worth a 3-game suspension.
That is, yeah. Right call. Good job. Player discipline. We did something right.
But Matt Rempe.
I said something right. Not both things right. Trying to take the small wins here, okay?
It is a small win. Zegras is a small guy.
Small guy, small win.
Speaking of a guy who has been a disappointment since his rookie year, Trevor Zegras has been nothing.
Yes, correct. He made the NHL cover and that was it.
Yep.
Good for him. Share the cover too. All right, moving on to, we're briefly going to mention Four Nations here because I know that you guys have probably already seen absolutely everything there is to see on the internet about this tournament because it's been a bit now. However, we still wanted to talk about it because we're Canadians and we like to talk about hockey. And when we like to talk about hockey, we like to talk about beating the States.
Woohoo! Go
More
team.
than anything.
Oh, Canada.
No, we're not singing the anthem here.
Is that copyright?
No, I just... vocal cords and singing might scare away the few people that are watching it. So, let's talk about it. Olympics and World Cup you have written down.
Yes. This is kind of like previewing. This was announced before Four Nations.
Of what the rest is going to look like.
Of what the rest is going to look like. And I'm curious what your opinion is on something else.
Okay.
So, NHL players at the Olympics again next year.
I love it.
Amazing. Thank goodness.
Thank you.
About time. This Four Nations is the first time we've ever seen McDavid and Crosby play together.
Yes.
Hopefully it's not the last.
Hopefully not.
Do you think Crosby will play next year?
Absolutely.
Okay.
He's still playing like a house on fire.
But I do think it'll be his last international tournament.
That's probably likely.
Yeah. So I think it'll be a good way to go, especially if we won gold.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a disappointment. And also that could be the first time we get to see McDavid, Crosby, and Bedard all playing together. Because I think Bedard will be on that team. Anyways.
He's not proving it this season.
No.
Anyway.
But then they're going to do rotation. So Olympics are every 4 years.
Yeah.
And they're going to do rotation where every 2 years, so in between Olympic years, they're going to do a World Cup.
Yeah.
With at least a minimum of 10 teams, I think. Maybe it was 8. And so it'll be like a legit World Cup.
Yeah.
I can't remember if that is IIHF tournament or if that's an NHL tournament like the last World Cup. Actually, I can't remember what the last World Cup was, if that was NHL or IIHF.
I can't remember.
But yeah, I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. We've missed best on best NHL.
We have.
International hockey.
Yep.
Segue that to the Four Nations. We finally got it. What kind of all-star break did we just watch?
A really good one.
The NHL cooked hard.
Oh yeah, they did. Like,
and that might be the first time I've ever said that.
Yeah, the NHL did something better than every other major sports league in North America.
Yeah.
So the NFL, the Pro Bowl, has become somewhat of a glorified flag football game. They don't really tackle. They're just kind of having fun out there, not running full out, just screwing around basically. And in the NBA, it's just a joke, and it's the same sort of thing. It's like
spend more time doing interviews than playing basketball.
Seriously, it's more of a entertainment, personality type show rather than sports. And they do their little 3-point contest. That's cool. But then they go and play the game, and it's like no one cares to play defense. It's like 150 to 160 or something.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And the MLB, I don't really know, but I don't think they do anything that noteworthy.
Yeah, I think they do like their home run derby or something like that.
Yeah, they do.
Something like that. I don't know.
It's nothing to write home about.
And I mean, the NHL's been the exact same way.
Yeah, they have.
I mean, I have enjoyed the All-Star game the last few years. I know a lot of people haven't.
I like the skills competition. I don't care for the game.
I like the game. I think they did really well with the game last year.
Yeah.
With the way they did the drafts and everything. Again.
I thought it was alright.
I think the drafts are fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, it makes sense.
I just remember Ovechkin saying, "Please draft me last so I can get a cart." That was hilarious.
That was the best draft.
That was amazing. If you don't know what that is, look it up.
Yeah. But I mean, it makes sense that leagues do that. They don't want their players getting hurt.
Yeah, obviously.
But the NHL said...
entertainment. And
who cares if our guys get hurt?
Yeah.
And both Kachucks can't play hockey for the rest of the season.
Well, Brady's playing.
But
Matthew's on LTIR now.
Yeah, Matthew is just confirmed today out for the rest of the regular season.
Yeah.
Because of this tournament.
Yep.
And so is Shea
Or maybe we're not sure how much of a Vegas Mark Stone move it is with the LTIR.
Yeah.
But he's hurt, for sure. Yeah. He got hurt playing with the Four Nations.
He only played like 6 minutes in the finals.
Yeah.
And he has to have been hurt if he only played 6 minutes because I think he was willing to lose an arm in that game.
Well, he said that it was the most important game of his NHL career. Or his hockey career.
Yeah.
Is what he said.
Brady said that. Matthew didn't because Matthew won the cup last year.
No, but Matthew said, I was pretty sure I saw somewhere that he said this means more to him than Game 7.
I thought this was that was Brady that said that.
Pretty sure it was Matthew. But either way, that's still high praise for the Four Nations final game. And they put it all on the line. In the first, 3 minutes, or first however many seconds was it, there were 3 fights?
9 seconds.
First 9 seconds of the first game of Canada-US, there were 3 fights.
Yeah.
So, it's like we're going to go and put it all on the line for our countries, and we love that.
Yeah.
That was phenomenal entertainment.
Yeah, it was incredible. I don't know if it was wise from a team and player standpoint with the injuries and stuff, but it was incredible.
Yeah.
Also, just a note about those fights.
Yeah.
Did you see JT Miller punch himself in the face?
Yeah.
In the third fight? That was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
Full uppercut. Went like this and missed, and then caught his own nose and visor.
Caught his own face in the follow through, which I thought was pretty funny.
Okay, but with that, do you think the NHL should do Four Nations again?
Yes.
Do you think they will?
No, they will eventually. If there's a year come, I don't know how long how long does the agreement with the Olympics last?
I don't know. I think it goes until at least 2032 or something like that.
It seems like we're always on and off with the Olympics, and whether NHLers are there or not. So I feel like Yeah, we will see Four Nations again at some point. I
When
think.
we're not at the Olympics?
Yes.
Okay, but as long as we're doing Olympics and World Cup, do you think it happens?
It depends how well the World Cup goes. Because if it's not really interesting, you bet they'll bring Four Nations back because of how much of success it was this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think.
So do you think in the meantime, do you think All-Star breaks go back to normal All-Star games and skill comps?
They might.
I'm guessing they
They
probably
will.
Yeah.
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 I think they probably will.
But I
But
think that's great. McDavid, they asked McDavid this, and I think he had some good points. Is he said he thinks this is a one and done tournament.
yeah.
Because he said, first of all, it's great because we've missed best on best hockey.
Yep.
But this is a mid-season thing where people are out there blocking shots and getting hurt.
Yep.
And they have their teams to consider.
It's true.
And so if you're already getting a best on best tournament every other year, you don't necessarily need this.
Yeah.
And if you fill it in those gaps where you have it every year, I think you might be oversaturating it to the point where people don't care anymore.
Yeah, that's true. The novelty would wear off.
Yeah. But his other point is he's like I love being here, but he's like there's a lot of good players that don't get to be here because there's only 4 countries.
Yeah, that's true.
And he was referring to Draisaitl.
He was referring to Draisaitl. Yeah.
But David Pasternak was quoted saying like, "Let the man speak" or something like that. David Pasternak's a top 10 player in the league.
He is
from Czechia.
Yeah,
and like he
can't play. He has nowhere to play.
So got World Cup. If you got 8 to 10 nations. You will have Czechia, you'll have Germany, you'll have those teams in there. So
Draisaitl would carry Germany harder than he carries the others.
Germany's actually got some decent guys though.
Yeah.
Well, you've got Moritz Seider in there. You've got
he is German.
You got Stutzle in there. You've got a few they aren't a bad team.
No, they're not going to be bad.
They're weak. They've got Grubauer in net, which is like
it's all right.
But it's an NHL goalie.
Yeah.
And there's another NHL German goalie in there, and I can't remember who it is.
Yeah.
But.
So, should we talk about Canada and Crosby and last time Canada won?
Oh, I want your opinion on one more thing.
Yes.
There were 2 rules that were introduced in the Four Nations that are new, and I'm curious if the NHL is testing them out. One, overtime was 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
In every other than the finals were 20-minute overtime.
Yeah.
But any overtimes before that were 10 minutes long rather than 5.
Yeah.
Yay or nay?
I have so many mixed opinions on that because I used to love 3-on-3 overtime, but now 3-on-3 overtime has become cycle it around. Once you have the puck in the offensive zone, you cycle it around, tire them out, keep changing off, cycle around, till you wear them out, till they're pretty much falling down on the ice, and then you shoot. I think that's annoying and stupid.
Yeah.
But I love 3-on-3 overtime otherwise.
Yeah.
Like how when it initially came out, I loved it.
Yeah.
So 10-minute overtime rather than doing a shootout, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I think I agree. The Canada-Finland overtime, very first game of the Four Nations, was intense. It was like back and forth breakaways, like what 3-on-3 was when it first came into the NHL, before teams over-strategized it.
Yeah.
And so I think it has potential to be really good.
Yeah.
Other one is they introduced what everybody's been asking for years, a 3-2-1 point system. Regulation win gets you 3 points. Overtime shootout win gets you 2 points. Overtime shootout loss gets you 1.
Yeah.
So they added it so that it rewards you winning in regulation rather than pushing overtime. That should greatly increase the intensity of the final 2 minutes of regulation 1-goal game or even a tie game. Rather than teams just holding the puck behind their net, like let's go to overtime, guarantee a point. Both teams are okay with that. It's like a mutual agreement that we're not going to do anything for the next 2 minutes. Now there's something to play for.
I'd rather see them push right till the final buzzer.
Yeah. And now
a buzzer, my guess.
That also solved the whole last game of the season situation we had last year, where freaking Philadelphia, Detroit got screwed over by Philadelphia pulling their goalie in a different game, and they missed out on the playoffs.
Right.
Detroit made a comeback, won their game in regulation. What they had to do now, all they needed was they needed the Philly-Washington game to go to overtime, and they were in. And then Torts pulled his goalie in a tie game, and Washington scored to win it.
Right.
Screwing Detroit over and letting Washington in. Made sense from a Flyers perspective.
Sure.
Except for the fact that once Detroit won, they were out regardless. But they may not have known that. But it stops that situation because then Philly would have had something to play for. They would have had a regulation win to play for. Yeah. And so I really like it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's all right. I think that, obviously we'd see a lot more points scored by the end of the season for teams, but whatever. It's not like it's throwing off how many points a goal's worth or something like that. Changing records or anything, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I think that's all right. Yeah, I'd be all right with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now where were we here?
Canada Crosby.
Yes. So, I just want to put it out there. When I was watching overtime against the States...
The finals game,
Finals.
right? Yeah.
That was the only one that went to overtime, right?
It was the only States one that went to overtime.
Yeah.
Canada had the Finland one.
Sorry, yeah, Canada States overtime.
Yeah.
I really wanted Crosby to score the overtime winner.
I know, I did too.
I so wanted Crosby to score the overtime winner.
It would have been so poetic.
It would have been very poetic.
I wanted Crosby, Doughty, or Marchand to score. One of the three, OG Canadian players.
Yeah. That would have been around since the 2010 Olympics.
Yeah. I don't think Marchand was on that team.
Well, maybe not.
I don't think he played for Canada until 2014 Olympics or the 2016
World
Cup.
Okay. But playing from that era of hockey anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would have been poetic, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Nice that McDavid scored it. He has his Crosby moment, the Olympics. That's nice.
His golden goal.
He gets his golden goal. That's nice. I really wanted to see Crosby score it.
Yeah.
That would have been poetic, I think.
It was good. And I mean McDavid was really mid.
Yeah, he was.
He was probably our third with that goal. I'd say third best player.
Yeah.
I would argue fourth. McKinnon and Crosby were both better.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually say McCarr was better than McDavid overall. It's just McCarr missed games, so you could say McDavid would be the third best player.
Yeah, they gave him some Tylenol and he was all right.
Yep. McDavid was not the best player on our team.
No.
But it was a really good goal.
He scored when it counted.
Yeah.
When it mattered, rather.
And he scored that goal, the one goal against Finland, too. Was it Finland or... No, it was this first States game.
Yeah, that's right.
He scored a really pretty goal then, too.
He did.
Yeah.
So, last time Canada won. You have some fun facts for us.
Yeah, last time Canada... I think that's supposed to be the last time the States won. That makes more sense.
Last time the States won against Canada?
Won a gold medal.
Oh, won a gold medal.
Or won against Canada. One of the two. I forgot my stat and I lost it, so...
Should we just skip right past that?
Sure.
Because right here in the notes we have, it's kind of funny. We have last time Canada won, iPhones, Celebrini, Dwayne Johnson.
Well, I remember that. Whatever the stat was before iPhones were invented, before Celebrini was born, and when Dwayne Johnson still had hair.
Okay, so that obviously wasn't when Canada won.
No, it was either last time the States beat Canada or last time that Canada won a gold, or the States won a gold medal. I'm not sure.
All right. Either way,
one of the two is true.
now you know, or don't know, I guess. So I don't love this move. It's kind of corny, but there's a McDonald's two McDonald's, right? It was two in Edmonton.
One in Edmonton. One's in his hometown.
Oh.
In Ontario.
Okay, so one in Edmonton that on the outside of the building has changed their name to McDavid's, and one in his hometown.
Do you think they changed?
Where is he from again?
Oh, Newmarket, I want to say. Newmarket, Ontario. That's what I want to say.
Yeah.
I don't know that for sure.
Whatever. I think that's corny.
I think
that's horribly
incredibly corny.
But hey, I mean, it's good marketing.
What's more corny about it is I think it's the same McDonald's in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Was going to do the same thing if the Oilers won the cup.
Oh. So they just really wanted an
excuse to do it, and this gave them a good one.
Good or not, there it is. So
I would visit it.
Yeah,
I would take a picture and be like, I went to McDavid's today.
Sure.
I was at McDavid's place this week.
Yeah. Well, guys.
But did they change the menu items?
Probably not. Well, if this episode gets, let's say 100,000 views. Now, let's set the bar a little lower. Even if it got 50,000 views, we will drive up to Edmonton and go visit McDavid's.
I mean, if it got 1,000 views, I would do it.
I don't want to go up to Edmonton for no reason.
Oh, it's not no reason.
Yeah, you're right. It's a stupid reason. Anyway, moving on from that. Crosby. We have written just a bullet point called Crosby. Now has more gold medals than the USA men's national team.
Do you know how many gold medals the men's national team has for the States?
Like, since when?
Ever.
What, like, one?
No, more than that.
Okay.
Not 0.
3.
They have 4.
They have 4.
4 gold medals in not just Olympics, like any.
Yeah.
Any international hockey that you.
Yeah.
Canada has like 37, first of all. This might have been our 38th.
Yeah.
But Crosby, this is his 5th.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Sid the Kid, better than all the states. So.
Yep, he is. Now this next stat is insane.
I'll let you get to that. Actually, no, it's right there. You just go for it. Go for it.
Yeah. Canada is 48-6 with Crosby on their team. Canada's only ever lost 6 hockey games with Sidney Crosby on the team.
Wow. So he's pretty good at hockey then.
He's all right.
He's all right.
He better be on that Olympic team.
The kid's all right, even though he's not a kid anymore.
Yeah, very old.
Yeah.
Oldest player in the Four Nations tournament.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, wow.
He's like 37, 38 years old.
And you could say he was one of the best in the entire tournament, too.
Yep.
So, he's defying the odds.
He single-handedly saved Canada in our game against Finland. It was the Sweden game at the beginning that went to overtime. It was the Finland game. We were winning by 3 goals.
Oh, and then
in the last 3 minutes, we let in 2 straight with still a minute and a half left to go.
Yeah.
And then they finally put Crosby out there, and he won the puck and then fired it into the open net with attitude from our end of the ice.
He did. It's like, fine, let me get out there and do it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you.
That's needed someone to do that.
Yeah.
Something else I was going to say here. I've mentioned in previous episodes, we don't like to get too political here, but there has been murmurings about a certain president talking about a 51st state of the United States being Canada. Well, a fan showed up to the final game with a sign in his hand that I assume you've seen this?
I may have. You need to.
Okay, he showed up to the game with a sign in his hand with the U.S. and Canada, on the map of U.S. and Canada, painted over the entire thing with a Canadian flag. And it said, 11th province? Question mark.
Yeah.
Think about it with a bunch of O's, because I guess that's how Americans think we say about. And apparently some fans were just about to fight him over it. There was one fan was ready to throw punches over.
I did not see this.
Yes, there was a fan video. There was just about a fist fight over that sign, which, I mean, hey, if you're that into it, then go somewhere else and, I don't know, go rant out on Twitter or something. Just don't punch a fan because of a sign.
Yeah.
But then I saw a funny comment saying, nah, they get relegated to the 4th territory until they learn how to behave. Which I got a kick out of, so.
We do have American friends.
We do.
We don't hate the U.S.
No, we don't. It's just a fun little rivalry.
We are patriotic.
We're when it comes to our hockey, especially.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we touch more on Four Nations?
Well, I saw this thing on. Well, you sent this thing about salary caps. What
yes, I
each
did.
team's salary cap would be. The NHL salary cap is $88 million.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Do you remember what was on that post that you sent me?
Yeah, it was the graph of all of the salaries of the Four Nations teams put together and what their salary spend would be.
Yeah. Finland is our lowest. That's not a surprise.
Yeah, not a surprise.
Yeah. $122 million.
Okay, so still blowing the cap.
Measly $40 million over.
Yeah.
That's about Vegas Golden Knights territory.
Yeah, that's Vegas LTIR territory right there.
And then next up is Sweden at 162.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, actually, Canada is second. I thought Canada would have the highest.
Oh, so we're better overall and pound for pound.
We cost $6 million less.
We're cheaper.
We are $180 million not over the cap. $180 million total, and the states were 186. $2 million short of $100 million over the cap.
Wow. So is Austin Matthews the highest paid player on that team?
I want to say yes. He probably is, because he was recently the highest player in the league. McKinnon is now. Yeah. I believe. But maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it was McKinnon and now it's Matthews. It's about to be McDavid.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But the States, more money and less talent.
Yeah.
All humor aside. Let's quickly talk about this little trade here. 2 more things, and then we're going to head to our break. So, Seth Jones has been dealt away from the Chicago Blackhawks to the Florida Panthers. Now, how do we feel about this trade? You have the full trade breakdown there. You want to give it to us?
Yes, I do. So Seth Jones
and a 4th round pick. Seth Jones with $2.5 million retained on his salary. He has like an $8 or $9 million salary.
It's pretty high.
So that's big. I don't know how many years are left on it. $2.5 million retained and a 4th rounder to Florida.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
Jones is a good defenseman. I don't care what everyone else says.
Yeah, he is.
He's just not what he was expected to be.
No.
For Spencer Knight to Chicago and a 1st this year. That for 2026, sorry.
Okay.
Both these picks are 2026. That will shift to 2027. It says if Florida doesn't have it. So I'm assuming they're saying that Florida has the freedom to trade that 2026 pick to someone else if they give the 27 one to Chicago.
Sure.
So a 1st round pick in the next 2 or 3 years, Spencer Knight for Jones with retained salary and a 4th.
Yeah. I think that's a fair trade.
I like this for both teams.
It's a good trade.
You have Bobrovsky on your team if you're Florida.
Yep.
You don't need Spencer Knight.
No.
He's nice.
Yeah.
Like, you like Spencer Knight if you're
you
Florida. But you have to pay. You have to give to get.
You do.
Seth Jones is a really good defenseman who will solidify their core, especially after losing Montour last year.
Yeah.
Getting another top 4 guy back is big. And they retain salary, so that helps the cap. 4th rounder is nice. That could turn into something, or it could not.
Yeah.
Who knows? And a 1st for the Blackhawks, a rebuilding team. A perpetually rebuilding team, it seems.
Yeah. I think that's all right.
And it gives the Blackhawks the freedom now to trade Mrazek to a playoff contender if they want. Because Knight can start, and he can be the future. So that Mrazek can be traded for more future assets, and they can still have a legit goalie. Yeah. Whereas if they did before, they would not have had a very.
They would have probably been thrown in your local plumber to play the games, and rather than
calling David Ayers.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So I really like this for both teams.
Okay.
But with this trade,
yes,
this is cool, and I want to see if you can get everybody on this list. With this trade, Florida has 2 of the top 4 picks in 2013 and 3 of the top 4 picks in 2014, all on their team right now.
Florida does?
Florida does.
Okay. So, obviously...
Name the players.
Sasha Barkov.
Yeah.
Ekblad.
Yeah.
Seth Jones.
Yeah.
How many players did you say?
There's 6.
6. Sam Reinhart.
Yeah.
Sam Bennett.
Yeah. One more.
And... Oh. Uh-oh.
Uno más.
Stalled out here. I mean, they had Huberdeau, but, you know.
That's true. But he's not that year. He's 2011.
He was 2011? Oh, shoot.
Oh, there's only 5. Sorry. You got them all.
Okay. Okay. I'm like, who else? Okay, that makes me happy.
Only 3 they don't have out of the top 4 from 2013, top 4 from 2014. Draisaitl, who they're never going to get. McKinnon,
they'd like to have him.
Who they're never going to get.
They'd also like to have him.
And Jonathan Drouin, who could feasibly, if they wanted.
Sure. I'm not sure that they care to have him.
They could get him.
Yeah. Not sure that they care to, though.
But that is kind of insane.
Yeah,
that they have 5 out of 8 top 4 picks between 2 drafts.
That is.
And all of them are influential. Well, I mean, Seth Jones, we don't know how influential he's going to be. But Barkov, Bennett, Reinhart, Ekblad, all fairly significant in their cup run last year.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, that draft, paying off in spades. Or at least being able to get them anyway. So, speaking of trading, do you want to talk about how our good friend Kyle Dubas likes to figure out his trades?
Yeah, this checks out a lot. This explains a lot about the Leafs' current state and where the Penguins are heading. Have you seen this?
Yes, I have.
This is hilarious.
I don't have it with me, so you should read
I'm just going to read. This is from Frank Saravelli.
Okay.
He owns Daily Faceoff.
Yes, he does.
Incredible analyst.
Frank Bombs.
Let's go Pens. GM Kyle Dubas on the preparation for the trade deadline. This is what Kyle Dubas said. You run through all the possible scenarios, like how our team might look in April. I'll be honest, I have about 15 NHL 25 saves where I just simulate through the trade deadline and see what the game would do. I play NHL video games.
Yes.
And I play the GM mode.
Yeah.
I love to be a GM.
Yeah.
Because then I can trade McDavid and do what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. That game is not realistic.
No.
At all.
No.
I see nobody's traded for 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Like, I saw Jason Zucker one time traded for 2 firsts. I'm like, that man's not worth 1 first.
Sorry, Jason, but you're not.
If you're going to a video game
for trade advice,
I could be the GM. Like, actually.
Yeah. Let's put you in.
I don't want to be, but I could be.
Yeah.
Like,
or, better yet, I think we should get the fine people at EA Sports, their game developers, to be GMs.
I agree.
They could replace Kyle Dubas at this point.
At least instead of Kyle Dubas.
By the sounds of it.
Now, I won't complain, because do you know what my 3 least favorite teams in the league are?
Well, the Penguins.
Penguins are my second least.
Your least favorite team in the entire league? Well, it has to be Calgary, doesn't
Nope.
it? Well, I know you like our players, but you don't
Calgary
like us.
is not a bottom 3 team in the league for me.
Okay.
They're 4.
Well, I know you really don't like the Penguins.
Yeah, they're my 31st.
Okay. I don't know this about you.
Who's my 32nd? This should be obvious. We pretty much share this.
Well, of course, the Leafs.
Yeah, the Leafs are my least favorite team in the league.
Yeah.
And then the Blues have moved into 30th spot after taking Broberg and Holloway from us. Now I don't like them.
Right.
I never did. They were a bottom 10 already,
for
and now they
sheep.
slid underneath. So I would cheer for the Flames over all 3 of those teams in the playoffs.
All right.
But Dubas has been the GM of the bottom 2.
Yeah.
And he also sucks. So
Yes.
he has GM'd the right teams.
Yeah. I would say so.
Yeah.
With that, we're going to head to a break, and we will be back.
Okay.
Are we back now?
I suppose.
Okay, we're back for part 2 of this wonderful episode of the Dump and Chase podcast. What was that?
A noise.
Oh,
I
okay,
don't
sure.
know. Yep.
All right, well, that denotes the beginning of part 2. Start us off. Let's keep going. Let's keep rolling here.
Jerseys. I like jerseys. You like jerseys. I like jerseys more.
You do like jerseys a lot more than I do. But I like them too.
I like jerseys. I have about 30 NHL jerseys. 25 to 30 of them.
Hockey jerseys are easily the nicest sports jerseys to ever exist.
100%.
Like football jerseys, lame in comparison. I love football, but they're lame in comparison.
I don't love football, and I agree with him.
Yeah, okay.
Baseball's worse.
Baseball is worse.
Yeah.
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 The NBA is not too bad. Because at least they have the logo on the front.
Yeah, but it's just...
No, they don't. Do they?
You're the NBA fan.
They don't have the logo on the front.
I only follow hockey. So.
I'm not really an NBA fan.
Yeah.
I just am sad that my Mavericks traded Luka. Anyway, sadness. Jerseys. Let's talk about jerseys.
The designs on this thing, like the striping, the Vegas Golden Knight, the sparkles, the shoulder patches, logo, everything about jerseys.
Yeah.
The anchors.
They're very nice.
I mean,
Very
can we
nice.
appreciate the Kraken logo for a second?
Seriously, I'm going to move my mic out of the way a little bit here. Appreciate this.
With the S, the Kraken tentacle up the top.
Tentacle?
Yeah. Do you not see it?
I guess you could call it a tentacle.
Well, that's what it is.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. And then the I and the S. And then on their shoulder patch, turn your shoulders. I don't know if you can see that. But it's an anchor. It's a boat town. But then they have the Space Needle as the
top of the
built into
anchor.
the anchor as well.
They
It's
do.
like the designs in NHL logos and jerseys is just
For those of you who don't know what the
incredible.
Space Needle is, that is the main sort of recognizable building in the skyline of Seattle.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And I mean, you gave me a fun fact about the Seattle jersey I didn't know before
Yeah.
the podcast,
So I knew something about jerseys that he didn't.
which is very rare.
The only NHL home jersey to not have any sort of white in it is the Seattle Kraken. Your jersey that you're wearing does have just a little bit of white,
It's a tiny bit.
but it
is
still
white.
has white. The Kraken, no white. Just a very light shade of teal.
Yeah. I think it looks really cool. I
It
really
does.
like the Kraken jersey. I'm actually looking at possibly buying the away one sometime this week.
Also, I love how they tied the reason they have red on the jersey is just because of the eye.
Yeah.
Which looks cool.
Yeah, well, it would be too blue otherwise.
It'd be
if
way
you
too
had
blue.
light teal, and dark blue, and nothing else,
Yeah.
it would have been like,
You guys are the ocean.
yeah.
So,
Become the water.
Jerseys.
There's rumors that the NHL is going to switch back to their old ways and make homes white and aways dark again. What do you think about that?
dislike.
Yeah, I agree. Do you like whites or darks better?
Darks.
Darks, okay.
Dark jerseys always look
Yeah.
better.
I wouldn't say always.
Okay, not
There's,
always. Most of the time.
The
if
New
you
York
ask me.
Rangers jersey, way prefer their away jersey. And the Florida jersey.
I
Those
can
are
see that.
two off the top of my head. The Panthers and the Rangers away jerseys, I way prefer their white ones.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'd probably say the same thing about the Capitals.
Hmm.
I have the Capitals away jersey, and it looks real nice in person.
That's fair. I actually do quite like the Flames away jersey.
Yeah, I do too.
It is nice.
I really like the Flames jerseys in general.
Honestly, and this isn't me speaking as an Oilers hater, I don't like your guys' away jerseys.
I don't mind our aways.
I like your home jerseys. They're nice enough.
I liked our aways better when we had the navy blue.
Yeah, that looked better.
The navy away jerseys look better.
Yeah.
But I think the current royal blue home jerseys look better than the navy home jerseys. So I think the navy looked better on the away. The royal looks better on the home.
I could agree with that.
And then we need an orange alternate jersey. I don't know why we don't have one right now.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Oranges shouldn't be our primary color, but I don't know why we don't have an alternate orange jersey right now. But
that's fair.
Anyways, I could talk about jerseys for a long time.
I
don't need to, but I just curious what your opinion. I would probably agree with you. I would rather they keep darks.
Because I mean, this looks sick.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you want to wear your nicest jerseys at home?
Yeah. And you have you can do way more creative things. I don't know why I said creative the way I just
You were going to say creativity.
Yeah, and I said creative.
He's a creative guy.
Yeah, that is me. It's really not. But they have way more options on how they can design a jersey.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And
versus
so
having to stick with a white base.
Your fans should be able to see those designs.
Yep. I think that not going back to dark for away and light for home, I think sticking with what we're at is good. I don't think change is needed just for the sake of change.
Yeah, I agree. And I know people who've watched for a long time and who watched when white was home.
Yep.
Probably feel the same way we do about dark ones. They're like, that's the way it should be. That's probably where the rumors come from.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how valid they are, or if it's just a group of fans with opinions that are loud enough to be heard.
Yeah.
And it's not actually anything. I don't know.
Could be. See, when I started paying attention to hockey, I didn't realize, when I was little, probably 7, 8 years old, I didn't realize that they used to wear light for home jerseys.
Yeah.
And my dad had an old hockey magazine. I was flipping through it. It was from when the Flames won the Cup. And so on the cover, there's the picture of Lanny McDonald holding up the Stanley Cup. And we're wearing our dark jerseys because we won in Montreal.
Okay.
And I said, that's cool that the Flames won at home. And he goes, no, they didn't. I'm like, but they're wearing their home jerseys. He's like, no, they're not. I'm like, what do you mean?
Little 7-year-old Noah brain just fell out of his head.
It did. And that's how I found out that they used to be different. Yeah. I'm okay with leaving them the way they are, though.
Yeah.
So, we're going to talk about the standings here.
We're right about to the trade deadline. In fact...
When is the trade deadline?
It might be tomorrow.
Ooh.
Oh, that's... Why is my laptop doing that?
If the trade deadline's tomorrow, I feel like it's not going to be as busy as years past.
March 7th. 4 days. So we're filming this on Monday. The deadline's on Friday.
All right.
Yeah.
Which, hopefully we can film something just shortly after the deadline and put that out, because we will have a lot to talk about.
Hopefully.
Well, I mean...
Rantanen is back on the block. He has not accepted the Canes' offer to him, so... Yeah. Demko is too.
Interesting.
A lot of sources say Demko will not be a Canuck next season.
Did you know that Sorokin has scored more goals recently than Elias Pettersson?
It's true.
He might get traded.
I was going to say he scored more goals than Steven Stamkos too, except they're tied, and it was the same goal.
But yeah, so that's why I bring up Pettersson. It's because I think he's probably going to get traded too.
Yeah, he very well might.
He needs a change of scenery bad.
Yeah, really bad. I don't think he's bad and washed.
No.
What the Canucks have to do, they have to decide. They have to risk. Are we going to possibly sell low?
Yeah, they can't do that.
Or are they going to wait and he's going to lose all value entirely? And
can't do that either.
So it's like, what do you do? Do you sell low now? Because they would be selling low. To trade him at this deadline, they will not get what he's worth.
That's true.
Unless this is actually just what he is now, and they wait for 2 years, and he just gets worse and worse and worse, and he's in the AHL.
Yeah.
And you're like, should have sold him when we could have got a second liner for him.
Yeah.
Or a first round pick.
I think that it's probably... I don't know. I think it's probably the wise decision, especially considering his attitude about sticking around for a rebuild and not wanting to. That it's probably best you trade him now.
I think they should trade him to the Rangers.
Yeah? Why?
Because that's where they just traded JT Miller.
Ah.
Just start the whole drama over. I mean, that's why this all started.
Yeah.
Was drama between the two of them.
Yep.
So I think trade him to the Rangers. I think that's the best call.
Yes. They would do that.
Maybe for JT Miller. That would be also funny.
Trade him for JT Miller. Oh, yeah. Good.
No, I want to look at the standings.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
The West is not as interesting. There's really the only battle in the West is between the Blues, Canucks, and Flames for the last wild card. which I think will be the Blues or the Flames. I think the Canucks are going to fall off.
Yes, they will.
For the Flames' sake, I hope it's the Blues.
I hope it's the Blues, too, for the Flames' sake.
But for the sake of possibly seeing the Battle of Alberta in the playoffs again, and that I'm saving up for playoff tickets, hopefully, I want to see the Flames.
That'd be all right.
But the Eastern Conference. Right now, we have a grudge match between Columbus, Detroit, the Rangers, Ottawa, Boston, Montreal, and maybe Philly and the Islanders. They're a bit far out.
Yeah.
For 2 wildcard spots. The fact that Boston and the Rangers are outside the playoffs is insane.
Yes.
I'm glad to see Boston there. I'm just ready for a change. I was really happy when the Bolts were out of the playoffs, but they've been really good recently, which makes me sad.
Yeah, now they're back in it.
Yeah, and I don't think they'll fall back out. Which teams do you want to fill those 2 spots? Let's assume that the top 3 stay as they are.
Okay.
We've got the Jackets, Red Wings, Rangers, Senators, Bruins, Canadiens, Flyers, Islanders. Let's take out the Flyers and Islanders because they haven't been as good. I don't think they realistically have a chance.
Okay.
Let's go Columbus down to Montreal. Which 2 do you want to see in?
Well, I want Montreal in. And honestly, let's leave Columbus in there. I want to see them do it for Johnny.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And because Monahan's on the team.
Yeah.
Do it for Johnny.
I also just like Columbus and like it when they succeed.
See, I never liked Columbus. Never did. And I feel this is the only time where I'm actually okay with them winning.
Yeah.
Because of Johnny and Monty. That's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I never really liked them. I've had no reason to dislike them, really. Except for that Johnny decided to go there. Which, I mean, not really their fault, but I didn't like that he picked there. But I'm okay with them doing well.
Yeah. Which team do you think will make it in?
Columbus. And the Senators.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You just saying that as a hot take, or do you actually think
that's a hot take.
Okay.
That's a hot take. Yeah.
So you don't really have reasons for it?
Nope.
just pick one that'll get a reaction but isn't too unrealistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But realistically, if I were playing the odds here, well, it would have to be Columbus. I want to say Boston, but they've been very mediocre to bad.
There's a really interesting stat I want to share after you make your final decision.
Okay, well, I don't know if I can go with Boston. Probably has to be the Rangers.
Yeah, for a realistic one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I want is very conflicting.
Okay.
Because what I want is I want Tampa Bay to fall out, so there's 3 spots.
Yes, you do.
And then I would want Columbus, Detroit, and Ottawa.
Okay.
That's what I would want. But because I feel so bad for Detroit after missing the way they did last year.
Yeah.
And so that's what I want. What do I think will happen? I think you're right about Columbus.
Yep.
I think you might be right about the Rangers for what will happen.
Okay.
And I actually do think, I agree with you, but I have reasons that the Senators would be the next choice.
Yeah.
I think the Rangers and Senators have a better chance than the Red Wings, actually.
Well, I think the Red Wings don't have a very good chance much at all.
But the reason is, and this is the stat I want to show you, so take a look at your screen there. Take a peek on that right-hand side of that goal differential.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
That is what I was looking at.
Yeah. Columbus is sitting at a +9, and the Rangers at a +4. Right now, as we're talking, the Jackets and Red Wings are holding the spots. The Rangers are tied with the Red Wings, but lose the tiebreaker.
The Red Wings are -15.
And the Bruins have the worst at -28. They
Worse than the Sabres.
They have the worst in the division, other than the Penguins. Penguins are at -50.
Ooh. Guys, the Sharks are at -73. In case you were wondering who the worst in the league was. Now you know.
Is it the Blackhawks probably?
-49, and the Predators -48.
Okay,
Predators.
So the Penguins.
Remember when we were scared at the Predators at the beginning of the season?
I was actually going to talk about them.
We were all like, "Oh, the Predators are going to do well. They're a scary team."
They were by choice to win the freaking cup.
Yeah, on paper they were a scary team. On ice, not so much.
This is the biggest example of star players don't mean you're a good team. Because
Yes.
on paper, they are still a top 3 team in the league.
Yeah, sure they are.
It makes no sense. And Luke Shed was just quoted, "I've never been on a team that can't score." And they have Steven Stamkos, Philip Forsberg, and Jonathan Marchessault.
Yeah.
And more. Yossi.
Yep.
Like,
but no.
Don't understand. Anyways, but Montreal's at a -21, Flyers at a -22, Islanders at a -15. So we have the Jackets and the Rangers. Now the Senators are only at a -3. Like, okay, they're still a dash. But
they're right around 500.
They're right around 500. Linus Ullmark has been hurt for about a month and a half or 2 months of the season.
Yep.
When he's played this year, he has done really well. Before he got hurt this last time, they were on like an 8-game winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
And he's come back, and he's been an over 90% save percentage goalie since he's come back.
Yeah.
And so I think with Ullmark, they will move up into the positives as well.
Yeah, that's very well.
And so possible. Now I really like the JT Miller trade for the Rangers, which helps them. Actually, if the Senators make it in, I think the Jackets will be the one to miss.
Really?
I think the Rangers are in. I think they will be number 1 wild card by the time it's all said and done.
Okay.
I think it'll end up being the Jackets and the Senators fighting for number 2. And I think they will be within 2 points. And I think the Red Wings will actually be in there too. They'll be within 2 or 3 points as well.
Let's see how that take ages. Yeah. It might age like a fine wine or like hot milk.
What do you think the Predators do at the deadline?
Oh, man.
Because they
go cry and eat ice cream, man. That's about all you can do.
Because right now they're sitting, quick math, 16 points out of the playoffs with 22 games left.
You're not making it.
Not unless they do a St. Louis Blues basically winless. But even the Blues, that was since Christmas, not the trade deadline. Lossless. That's not a word. Lossless. Barring miracle, they are making it.
No.
But they've also bought into this for years. It's not like Stamkos, Marchessault, all these guys are on contract seasons. Maybe 1 or 2 of them are. I don't know. Though they just signed Stamkos and Marchessault. So they won't be. So they're bought in.
Yeah.
Do they just be like, this was dumb, run it back? That's what...
Yeah.
I mean, that's what... Well, which team was it? The Kings. Was it the Kings? There's a team that basically... Oh, no, it was the Jets. The Jets got swept in the playoffs last year. Did not do that great. Ran it back, and now they're a top 3 team in the league.
Yeah.
They did basically nothing.
I think you can only go up from where you are as the Predators, so...
Because maybe it's just a chemistry thing. They work out.
Yeah.
Or do they just... They could probably make bank on those assets. Stamkos is going to be worth something still.
Yeah. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you just hang on and stay in for the ride, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. That's a curious one.
Yeah. I mean, they were my choice for the cup.
That's
my next question. Trade deadline, pre-trade deadline, who is your cup choice now? Because I want to ask this question again post-trade deadline and see if it changes.
Ottawa. Just kidding. Pre- and post-trade deadline.
The Avs are in a wild card?
They are.
I didn't know that. Minnesota, biggest surprise of the season. No, Columbus is.
I still think my biggest cup contender is Dallas.
I hate to say this, not as a cup contender. I think the Leafs make the conference final this year.
Yeah.
Berube's been really good for them. They're first in their division. They've actually been playing real hockey. They've been able to win without Matthews. Marner has shown up. I think the Leafs make the conference final.
They're definitely a better team. But you can't... You're underestimating the fact that they are, in fact, the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, but Craig Berube is not a Toronto Maple Leaf. Well, he is now. But I don't like it, but I think this is the year they make it a long ways. I mean, they broke the first round
curse. What happens if they don't?
Probably the same thing that's happened in the last 40 years.
Good. I'm talking about the players that are on the team.
If they don't, I could see Marner asking out.
Yeah.
The way he's been treated.
Yeah.
I could see him actually requesting a trade to a Canadian team.
Yeah.
Another different Canadian team.
That probably isn't in the Canucks.
Yeah. I could see him on it. Matthews will be in for the long haul.
Yeah.
Tavares is a free agent. You could see him go. Except he literally gave up everything to play in Toronto. So
he did.
Well, that was 8 years ago.
He burnt a lot of bridges there.
Yeah.
Who is your contender? Who's your choice?
Right now.
Yeah.
I would say not Edmonton.
I would agree with you.
We have to do something at the deadline to make me think we can win. I don't even think we make it out of the first round.
You somehow need to pull another Ekholm or something, like that caliber of trade.
Which, I mean, was amazing.
That was a very good deadline trade.
Yeah, it was a very good deadline trade. Problem is Stan Bowman said he's not going to get a goalie.
Right.
Which is stupid. So stupid.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think It will be the Jets. I think the Wild will make it to the second round, but not further. I'm going to go the Jets versus the Devils in the final at this point. Because Markstrom will be back come playoffs.
Yep.
He's hurt right now.
He will be.
I like the Devils team. I'm going to say the Jets take it. First Canadian Cup since Montreal. The Jets take it in 6 against the Devils. Hellebuck has been insane, and the team has actually supported him this year.
Yeah.
And I think if they can break the first round thing they've got going on, I think they'll go all the way.
Interesting.
So that's my call. I don't like Toronto. I don't think Florida's going to do it. I think they'll be a disappointment. Tampa, same thing. Washington could surprise, but I think they're going to be a regular season wonder. Carolina's my wild card. If they pull something big at the deadline, that could be huge.
You know, Carolina's going to win this year, the Cup, because this is the first year where I'm not banking on them. I'm not saying Carolina's going to win. Every year I'm like, Carolina's going to win it, guys. It's going to be Carolina, and they don't.
Yeah, I do like Dallas, too.
Yeah.
They just had a trade the other day, too, and I can't remember what it was. Maybe I'm just thinking of the Granlund one.
Yeah, you are. I think.
I don't think we've got any wild card teams that are going to make a run. Flames won't. The Avs won't.
No.
Canucks, Blues wouldn't. And all the teams we were talking about earlier in the East, none of them will make a run. I could see 1 or 2 of them making second or third round, but they won't make a run.
Yeah. Probably not. Yeah, let's see how that changes post-deadline, I think. That'll be interesting. Anything else to add to that?
I think that's all I've got.
Cool. Well, we have a double slander. We do.
Oh, I need to do this next
Yeah?
week. What are we out for time?
Oh, we're at 22 minutes in this next one, so we're over an hour.
I need to do this one.
Something you want to go for. Go for
it. Most undesirable places to play in the NHL. Have you seen it yet?
I have.
Okay.
I can't remember it, but I have seen it.
Okay, perfect. So I can still get you to guess.
Yeah.
What are there's 3 that are like the place to play right now.
The best place to play?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's like Vegas, Edmonton, and... Oh, I don't know. What's another team with a new rink? I don't know. Whichever one. Oh, there's like Seattle or something. I don't know.
Vegas and Edmonton are not ranked the highest. They are ranked in the second highest, like the really want to be there section.
Okay.
Along with the Wild, Lightning, Canes, Avs, Caps, Canadians, and the Leafs.
Okay.
Seattle is actually in the please no section.
Really?
Absolutely not. The bottom section. Alongside the Calgary Flames.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Preds, which that's just recency bias. They've actually been really high in most years. People love the market in Nashville.
Yeah.
Pens, Blues, Isles, Flyers, Sabres.
Oh, this is specifically talking about players, as in like not. This isn't for like away teams visiting. This is players.
Where do you want to play? Like to be your team.
Oh, so I take back Edmonton.
Well, Edmonton is high.
Not top.
No, second highest. They're on here. They're the second highest.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Well, they're in the second highest tier. They're not ranked second highest. And it's based off of 4 to 7 year team outlook, the organization, the city, area, and the taxes.
Right. So the Panthers got to be up there.
They're the number 1.
Yeah.
Florida for taxes. Tampa's in the second rank. Same
Florida.
deal. But their outlook isn't as good. Dallas is in the top. There's 3 teams in the top. Florida, Dallas, and the New Jersey Devils.
Okay, interesting.
I wasn't expecting the Devils to be up there.
No.
I'm not surprised the Flames were at the bottom. I'm surprised the Preds were. I'm surprised the Kraken were. I'm surprised that the... which team is it? I was thinking the Coyotes. They're gone. Duh.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a Coyotes jersey on the way here. I'm surprised they weren't in the bottom. But your Calgary Flames are.
Yes, they are.
Yep.
Not surprised.
Well, I mean, we basically live in Calgary, pretty much, as far as most people would be concerned.
And the only reason Edmonton's any sort of high right now is because they have a nice rink and they're a good team.
And Draisaitl.
Yeah. Otherwise...
as far as environment, we suck. We're the northernmost team in the league.
That sucks.
Between us and Winnipeg.
And you'd have to do a lot of traveling, like time, like for away games.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time on the plane.
Well, our fan base is also a draw.
It is.
Yeah, because Edmonton has a top 10 fan base.
But for some, it could be a negative thing.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah. A more sensitive player, the media would not want to play Edmonton for that reason.
They'll get eaten alive.
But Corey Perry wanted to play here because of that. So
and he seems like the player that doesn't really care what people say about him.
No,
and
and
he's
done really well actually.
Yeah,
with Edmonton. So.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
That figures honestly.
Yeah.
You'll see Calgary go up once we get our new building.
Yeah, it'll go up. I don't think it'll go up as high.
No, not as high
unless
as
you
Edmonton.
got crazy good, because your fan base isn't as strong either.
No, it isn't.
Outside of Alberta, it's not very strong.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And the Oilers fan base is strong right now outside of Alberta because of it, because of the 2-star players.
It was strong before though.
It wasn't.
I distinctly remember seeing Oilers fans during the decade of darkness and being why on earth do you cheer for us if you don't live in Alberta?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because we are awful.
The decade of first overall pick, first overall pick, first overall pick, first overall pick.
Yeah.
And eventually one turned out. Yeah, that about covers that. Is that pretty much what you wanted to cover for that? Yeah. So we're running a bit long here, but that's okay because we still need to make more time for our favorite segment is the Leaf slander. We like to make fun of the Leafs. And this time it's a dual threat. Not only do we get to make fun of the Leafs, but we also get to make fun of Team USA if we haven't already enough today.
Yes.
Hit us with it.
Austin Matthews.
Yes.
We just talked about him, possibly the highest paid player in the league.
Yeah.
Highest paid player in the league.
Good English.
Very good. He is 0-7 in his career in Game 7s or championship finals.
Not very clutch.
0-7. And it's his mistake that led to McDavid's goal.
Yes.
It's his mistake. Now, you asked me before the podcast if I thought that it was actually Matthews' fault that pass was intercepted.
Yes.
By Marner. I think it's hilarious that it was Marner that passed the puck.
Wait, you said Matthews' pass?
So that Matthews... Was it Matthews' fault he didn't intercept Marner's pass?
To McDavid.
To McDavid.
Right.
I think it's hilarious that it was a Leaf passing through a Leaf.
Yeah.
But it is Matthews' fault. Not for not intercepting the pass, because it's hard to intercept a pass straight up like that. But McDavid was Matthews' guy.
Yeah.
Matthews should have been... Matthews should have been on McDavid.
Right.
Yeah. And so, in that way, I would say yes, it's Matthews' fault. I will say Matthews had a good tournament overall. He was very solid. Maybe didn't have the offense open. He was very solid. But
Adam Fox should have been on Marner.
Adam Fox should have been on a plane somewhere else because he was terrible the entire time.
But it's...
Rangers had 3 players in the tournament. They had to combine 2 points.
Oh, good. I'm sure the Rangers organization is thrilled about that.
Yeah.
But I think that it should have been... It's equally Fox's fault as it is Matthews.
That's fair.
Is what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But we don't like to talk about that. We like to slander the Leafs, so we're going to focus on Matthews here.
Yep. So, and it still went through him, and he's 0-7 in championship games. So
not very clutch.
And when you're on the ice for the game-winning goal,
it's all that matters.
Yeah. He should have had 4 goals before that, and Binnington robbed him, but that doesn't matter. They didn't go in.
That's right.
They didn't go in.
That's right. Can't count it. Well, I think that leaves us...
What? I want to say one more fun fact. With 4 Nations.
You do.
This was the highest viewed NHL game in the last 30 plus years.
Yes, it has been.
It had 9.3 million. Yes, 9.3 million views, including 26% of Canada's population.
That's significant.
Yeah. So 26% of Canada's population and 9.3 million views, most watched NHL game in 30 plus years.
Wow.
There's your second fun fact.
That is significant, and so I think that, like we were talking about earlier, I think that tournaments like these are here to stay because they're wildly successful.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to talk about our fun fact of the day. Now, I was going to get you to guess this, but you would have no idea, and I already told you earlier, so I told you.
I was going to say, what, did you change it on me?
No, I didn't. Leave your guesses down in the comments below. But who do you guys think is the only... Actually, I shouldn't say only, because I'm pretty sure it happened twice. One of the only goalies in NHL history to make an all-rookie team twice.
I had no idea about this.
Yeah, you didn't. So, how do you think, well, how do they make an all-rookie team twice Can't you only be a rookie once? Kind of. I'm going to look it up here. I should have had it pulled up.
Tim Panarin.
Panarin.
You probably have to edit that down. That was probably really loud.
No, it's okay.
Oh,
Actually, didn't clip too bad. So, here you go. Another fella on this list. Do you know who Jamie Storr is?
No.
Played his rookie year, first rookie year, I guess. Made his all-rookie team in 97-98, and then again in 98-99.
Okay.
Probably similar situation. And you think, how does this happen? Well, let me tell you. It is where Jake Allen played 15 games in a lockout year, being 2012.
Yeah.
2012. Played a lockout year, played 15 games. There were only 40-some games that year, so he played a decent percentage of the games.
Almost a quarter.
With,
it might actually possibly over a quarter of the game.
Without being considered for being a full rookie year.
Yeah,
because
without losing his rookie status.
That's correct. That's right. That's what I meant to say. He did not lose his rookie status. He only played 15 games. Made the all-rookie team. Didn't play the next year.
Which is kind of crazy, actually, when you think of it.
It is.
Unless he was really bad that lockout year.
Yeah. Didn't play the next season. Then the season after that, he played his full rookie season and made the all-rookie team again. So there's your fun fact of the day. Jake Allen.
And I did not know that.
Certified rookie guy, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until a little bit ago. Found that out?
A very solid backup on the Devils right now. Another reason they're my cup choice.
There you go. Well, maybe he will be a Stanley Cup champion. Is he not already? Didn't he? Did he win it? Hang on.
It depends on if he left the Blues before or after their 2019 Cup.
I think he left before. Nope. He was on the Blues for it.
Okay.
He won it.
So he has one cup.
Yep.
He would have been a backup, though. He was Binnington's the one that won it, obviously.
Yeah, that's right. So, in case any of you guys wanted to know, the fastest way to see if anyone's won Stanley Cup, you can go onto their Hockey DB. Hockey DB has now added a little trophy in the year if they won that year.
Oh, nice.
Which is really nice, because all I had to do was just look up his Hockey DB, and I scrolled and I saw a little cup.
Nice. I didn't even get to my new tab on my laptop yet, so...
Weirdly, it is a little gold trophy. So, not a Stanley Cup.
Sure.
But it denotes a Stanley Cup. Anyway, unimportant. Thank you guys for watching, I think, and listening, or whatever how you consumed this. That was really good English there. Let me restart that.
Speak.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. However you chose to consume this content, listening, whatever it might be. We appreciate it. And go give us a follow over at Dump and Chase Pod on Instagram. Leave us some feedback, because we appreciate that. We don't get a whole lot of that. And by a whole lot, I mean currently, in this new era of the Dump and Chase podcast, none. Zero. So, please let us know if you like the episodes, if they're too long, too short, what you want to see, what you want to not see.
Because we can talk for longer.
Oh, we can.
We have.
Trust me. We could go for a long time. As it is, we cut things out to keep it within an hour and a half. So, I think that's probably all for this episode, wouldn't you say?
Yep, I think so.
Perfect. Well, we will hopefully see you guys next time. Probably post-trade deadline. So, we will have some interesting things to talk about. See if our cup contenders have changed or not.
Yep.
So, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we'll see you next time.
Adios.